And it's time to start building the inner fender up. Later we're gonna build the deck and we're gonna overlap the inner fender. So quick assessment and deciding where to start from, and then the fun begins. Okay, another rusty piece is gone and it's replaced by a new one, nice and solid. And I already started making the little flange for here, so I just have to cut it out and hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to the rusty shop, to the rust village here. So the other day we left this lip hanging, so now we're gonna finish it. We're gonna cut the lip here. We're gonna weld it to finish the wheel well, and then we're gonna start building. And we'll see then. We'll keep going. Alright, so this clip hanger from the last video is done now, and now we can keep going here. So I think we should focus on this area now. It's a little complicated, so maybe we can roll something on the bead roller, some nice shape, and yeah, first I have to get rid of some of the rust. Do I need this? I don't think so, right? Okay, so here the inner fender makes a flange underneath here, and the deck also comes here and they overlap. But the piece from the inner fender is solid underneath, and this is solid, so I'm not gonna disturb them. I'm gonna replace only this part here. Okay, let me figure out some kind of a patch here for this on the bead roller, and then we're gonna go from there. So I took a piece of sheet metal and I drew a line that, according to me, matched what the missing piece should have, and I ran it on the bead roller. However, the step on it was a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, which was fine for one end, but the other end of this patch needed to have almost 1/2 inch step. So I decided to run it one more time on the bead roller, and this time I gradually increased the pressure by tightening the bolt every once in a while, and it didn't turn bad. I think it was pretty good. And then I clamped it where it was supposed to be, and this is how it sat for the next 1 year because we became busy with other projects in the shop and I didn't have time to come back and finish it. So like I said, for over a year this patch sat clamped there. It almost got rusted into the new position that it needed to be, but now it is March 2020, a year later, and I'm able to come back to this project and continue going with it. So let's see what's gonna happen. Hey guys! Finally we're back on the 1974 TR6. Like, I would say a new season, because because we had a break on this car for over a year, I guess. Other things were happening, like, you know, this is a shop project, so there were many other projects on the way, and finally I find a little bit of time here to work on it. So let's not waste too much time. Let's go ahead and start working. By start working, I mean we have to clean it up because it somehow turned into a garbage pail. So we have to clean it up first. Probably we can do a walk around and see what we've done so far on the car, because it's been over a year, so I don't remember really well what was done, what was remaining to be done. So yeah, let me do that. Alright, so the shop is a little bit more organized now. This Rusty Beauty is sleeping for now, but yeah, we're gonna wake her up at some point, but for now we're gonna keep quiet so she can keep sleeping. And yeah, I organized the shop a little bit, cleaned up whatever was inside the Triumph, the TR6, and actually, since we haven't been on this project for a while, it's a good idea to walk around and see what we've done so far. So for sure, I know the frame, we repaired the entire frame, so it is underneath, sitting on some carts, so I can pull the car, or whatever that can be called, around. And let's see what we've done here. So I remember we started with this corner. We repaired this area here. I think we've done a little bit, but I'm gonna move it later, and we're gonna look at the valance as well. So we've done this area, this entire lip here. Whatever needed to be done is done here. Everything is completed. This side panel here, I forgot, it's a kick panel, I think it's called. That's replaced. The bottom of the A-post. The outer seals were in a good shape, so I didn't touch them. The bottom of the B-post, if I remember correctly, was repaired. There's a panel that we put over there on the inner wheel well, which can be seen on this side as well. The entire wheel well here. Most importantly, this lip, this flange here, we took it off, repaired the bottom flange, and then the one on the top. Here, this entire area is fixed, and I replaced the corner of the rear valance, but I never welded it because it was not in a good position for welding, so later we're gonna have to bring it up and weld it. But the patching is done and everything is stuck, so it just needs to be finished welding. The boot, nothing has been done inside because it is in a good shape. Actually, if I think, yeah, over there. Oops, sorry. So over there we've done some work, but that was on the outside actually. But that's everything. Other than that, it's in a good shape, so it doesn't need anything. Maybe a little bit here, but again, this is gonna be done on the outside if needed. And this corner of the rear valance needs to be done still. So I think this entire corner here needs to be finished. There's some cheesy parts here and all over the place. Here, I think that's where I stopped a year ago. I made this part for here. I think that's where we're gonna start today. We're gonna have to weld this patch here and then rebuild this entire flange here. This has been repaired, this corner. The bottom of the B-post was fixed on the inside along with the wheel well, and now we just need to put the rear end of the B-post. And actually this cup here is the wrong cup. I don't know why I put it there. So this is the wrong one, and I don't think I have the right one, so I'm gonna have to make one for there. I know they're cheap, but I didn't have time for 1 year to buy one. Anyways, it was just forgotten, so we're gonna see what we're gonna do there, but obviously we're gonna have to make our own. This is the inside of the valance. You know, this is a double layer here, so there's one layer on the outside that needs to be replaced, and there's a layer on the inside that needs to be replaced, and that was a very tricky job, but we're gonna have to deal with that. That's bad. So yeah, this is the area that I was working on when I stopped. The front end here is done completely, as far as I remember. I mean the side. So this again is done. Here this flange is repaired. Here we had some work done. This side panel is replaced, and the bottom of the A post is fixed. And of course inside replaced the footwell over there, that footwell, both floors on both sides, the inner seals. I even put, by mistake, I put strengthener piece inside. Strengthener, or they call it like stiffener piece inside, which it turned out the TR6 doesn't have one, but I put one, and actually I don't regret it because that makes it much more solid. So anyway, so that has been done. So the engine bay is pretty good. Even here, I'm still gonna have to clean it up and make sure there's no rust in the battery tray, but I think it's good. And the last, let me move the car and I'll show you the front valance. And this is what I'm saving for last. The front valance here, entire front section here needs to be replaced, and I don't really know what's going on here, but we will see. This side is repaired already, but this one, oh, I even made a piece for here, but I haven't welded it, so it's not so much. I thought I need to replace this entire thing, but I've already done it, so I just need to weld it and grind it here. I have to fix this part, and we will see here. Oh yeah, that's actually, I remember now, somebody just brazed a piece of sheet metal here and flipped it on top, and there were many cuts here because this is a little bit curved, you know. So we're gonna have to make a proper piece for here and repair it, and basically that's all the metal work. Actually, I'm lying, that's not all the metal work, because also the doors, they are not here right now, they're somewhere stored somewhere else. The bottom of the doors, as far as I remember, need to be done, so both doors, and the bonnet and the boot lid are in a good shape, as far as I remember, so there's not much work to be done on them. Unfortunately, we also have the windshield frame hanging over there, and here, if you see, it needs work as well. So actually we have lots of welding still to be done. So if we keep talking here, we're not gonna be done with anything soon, so let's get started. Okay, so I don't really remember what my idea was here, and of course if I watched my own video, my last video, I would know that. I don't remember, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tack it here to stay permanently there, and then I'm gonna cut through both materials here to form a patch, and then we're gonna weld it, of course. And then we're gonna have to cut the top plate and weld it to this one, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. Let's see. Oh, and if you wonder what's wrong with my gloves, I don't know, to be honest. I have another pair that is mismatched too. The only difference is that there we have, the left one is orange and the right one is green, so I have no idea what's wrong with those gloves. the patches in place. I'm not gonna hold you here. I'm just gonna finish welding it and grinding it, and I'm gonna show you the final result. Alright, it's not that bad. It's pretty good, actually. I like it. I found this weird thing that ever since my vision started going down, my welds become better and better. I don't know why that is, but I like this fact. Anyways, so this side is done. So now I prepared this piece here that I'm gonna put like that, and I'm gonna weld it first, and then I'm gonna cut the top just because it's gonna be easier to hold it. So I'm gonna weld it, grind it, and I'm gonna leave the flange here on top to come later with this piece. So I'm just gonna cut it to this level once I weld it there. And that's all. So that's a little update. Let's keep going. Okay, this is done. So what should we do next? So it looks like my idea an year ago was start from here. That's why I had this finished, then finish this corner, and then build the piece that goes in between, which actually is going to be two pieces. Yeah, because there is a joint here in the middle, and I left this for reference. It kind of makes sense. It's nice to communicate with your smart self from a year ago. Alright, so here it is important that we keep this a straight line. So I might bring the fender and double check how these lines matches everything, because this can move in and out, you know, and I don't want to have a gap that goes like this, you know. So we're gonna have to make sure it's a straight line. But I think we should start by building this piece now. Here, yeah, we definitely need to put the fender on so we can make our notches here, you know, for the fasteners, because this piece is gonna have notches like this, and then the piece that comes on top has the opposite, has notches like this, and then they form this hole for the fastener that goes through to hold the fender. So yeah, let me do that. Let me put the fender on temporarily and make sure everything is still okay. Alright, it seems to be pretty good. So far so good, right? Okay, so let me mark where the holes are. There's one right here. Believe it or not, this is where I mark inside the hole, and it falls right here where I just showed you. Wow, am I good or what? Alright, laugh at me as much as you want. I know, I made a mistake, okay, everybody makes mistakes. Looks like my break was too long, huh? Anyway, so, yeah, these shouldn't have been notches, these should have been just holes, and the notches are on this piece that comes here. So, yeah, looks like I'm gonna need to weld this back and just drill holes. Anyways, sorry guys, made a mistake. We're gonna fix those later. For now, I started making this piece and made this flange here that's gonna meet a flange on this other piece. And now I'm working on the other side, but I need to be able to push it further in so I can mark it. So, is there room here? Yeah, Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a notch here. Let's see now. Oh, it fits. A little bit more. So another 1/4 inch. Now it's all the way in, and it's actually it's actually the angle that we want, right? Almost. It goes down and then up. So now there's two things that we want to do. One is we want to mark this. And then we're going to mark this, but we're going to extend this line, just a straight line. And that's where our bend needs to be. A bit tricky because we need this line on the other side. So now, because we have to put it on the brake this way, we don't see the line, but we know that our line starts from the end of the notch, and then we're gonna make a cut here anyways. We need this cut so we can bend it down, and when we make this cut, we're gonna make it exactly to this line, and this means we're gonna, when we flip it, we're gonna have to make a bend from the end of this cut to the end of this cut, right? So you see, this cut is right at the line, so let's go to the brake. Alright, let's see if we can position it the way we want it. This brake doesn't allow me to do this, so I'm gonna have to cut this before I do that. Like this. But now you see it pushed it out, so I have to straighten it and start all over again. Okay, let's see where we stand. Okay, now this is going to be on our way. So we're gonna have to shorten it. That's how it needs to be, right? Like a little bit higher than here. The correct height we're gonna adjust when we're welding it. Now we can play a little bit with it, because we can always open it a little bit, put it a little bit higher or a little bit lower, and then weld it. So I'm just gonna mark it as it is now, so I can cut this off. And position it better. Now we can actually cut this off too. Starts looking like something. Now, the only thing is, this bend, I think, needs to be somewhere here. Just by looking on the other side, maybe it's a good idea just to put the boot lid here, so it is a little bit more accurate, right? Let's do that. Okay, the boot lid is on. I don't know if you see the other end. It goes up a little bit, and you need to do the same here. So, if you see, the bend seems to be like somewhere here. So if I just do it like this, it's not gonna be nice. And from there we need to make it a little bit like that. So I'm gonna go on the Sprinker stretcher and I'm gonna stretch it right here, right? very, very slightly. Ta-da! You see? Maybe a little bit more. Ta-da! And now, from here, we want to continue the same curve, a little bit narrowing here to 0 here. So I might do this with the hammer a little bit, but actually I'm gonna test my skills on the English wheel. So we're gonna do the 6-inch, and here I have a rubber band on the wheel to help me only bend it in one direction, because like very quickly I'm gonna explain how it works for those who don't know, like me. And I'm pretty sure most of you know that if I go and roll this like that with the band off, it's gonna bend it this way, but it also is gonna bend it this way. And I don't want it to be bent this way. I only want to bend it this way, right? I want the curve to go like that, so I need to roll it upside down. And that's why I have the rubber band, which prevents it going in this direction, which I don't want. I'm not gonna go way too much, I'm just gonna go twice. Not all the way, because I want this to stay at 0. And twice. And let's see. This English wheel is really wonky, but it works. Does some magic. Do you see where I went? And didn't do much, so I'm gonna go a little bit more. I'm gonna tighten it more now. Okay, now I see. I feel some resistance, which is good. This means we are actually doing something. Oh yeah, that's already working, but it needs more. Okay, I think that's beautiful. So I'm gonna try and show you. Okay, I don't know how well you can see, but it has a little curve. But if you look at it this way, if I didn't have the rubber band on the wheel, it was gonna go a little bit like that too, but now it didn't. I don't know if it is in focus, guys, I'm sorry, but I think this is something that we can work with. Yeah. Now, for some reason, this here has body filler that we have to get rid of because it's pretty thick and it's actually bowing this way. I don't want that. I'm actually, I think I overdid it a little bit here. Yeah, that's too much. So this curve at the end is too much. I'm gonna go and shrink it now here, and it's gonna come back. Just this here I don't like. I'm gonna try to get rid of this bundle and see if I can straighten this, because it looks like this and that's not right. I'm gonna bring a heat gun and a chisel. Alright guys, I think 30 minutes video for a comeback is pretty good. I hope that was entertaining for you. I'm gonna stop this video here and we're gonna continue in the next one. Don't worry, I progressed pretty well with this project already, so there's a lot more that I can already show you, and I hope to stay on it for a while, so there's gonna be videos coming for it. I know that probably many of you are locked at home for whatever is happening all over the world right now. I don't want to say its name because YouTube has a policy that doesn't let me monetize my video if I talk about this problem, so I think they're taking it away actually, but anyways, I don't want to risk it. Here in Canada we're still moving around, so I hope that I can keep working on this project, but if I end up being home for a while, I have enough material so I can show you a few more episodes. So we're gonna keep each other entertained, right? That's pretty unfortunate what's happening. So I hope that soon it's gonna be resolved and it's gonna be just a funny memory that we still have, even though some people are pretty badly affected by it. But anyways, guys, let's stop it here, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye.